Welcome everybody back to the Mars Dota2 League. We're now joined by myself, Gods, Basekip. We've got the Aussies out in full force. At least I love to say you're Aussie. You're not really Aussie. You want to be Aussie.
I want to be Aussie. Can I be an honorary Australian? Is that
Yes,
okay?
you
Nice.
can be.
As far as the Dota scene is concerned, I'd
Yeah,
like to consider myself Australian. So
Look,
there you go.
You become Australian, that just like instantly rises you in casting, like your casting
Prowess.
resume.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. That's the only reason I made it as a cast. I'm Australian. I have that under my belt. But we've got our next game, DK versus Vici Gaming. Both teams 0-1. Both teams having lost to Newbie. Neither game I would say was very close. Vici Gaming versus Newbie was a little closer, but that's just because of some kind of sloppy Newbie play.
DK got run over,
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Newbie just drafting and playing well, but Newbie not in this game right now. We've got DK versus Vici Gaming. We'll help ourselves in the draft to see where things are. Both teams 0-1. Both teams need a win. The way the format works, 6-team round-robin group stage, top 4 advance to the playoffs into a single in bracket, 2 best-of-3 semifinals, best-of-5 grand finals, and we're now live. Our third group stage match for the day here on BTS1. There are matches going on over on the second stream as well for BTS, I believe. Our next match over there is LGD versus CIS, being cast by Zayuri as well as Merlini. But this draft underway, DK versus Vici Gaming.
This is not very adventurous from either team, I have to say. This could be... You could show me this and ask me what version I thought it was, and I would quite easily say, oh, look, this is 6.80, but... I guess both teams feeling that they got to start pulling out the wins, especially against the other non-qualifying teams to make it to top 4. So.
I mean, for DK, Adventurous didn't work for them last game.
No.
Going for the offlane Brewmaster, the solo mid Queen of Pain, so they want to go for something a bit more standard. I think the one thing that has changed is Moranis being a lot more highly prioritized by some of these Chinese teams. We didn't see it much in the Chinese qualifiers for TI, but we're seeing DK, Newbie run it quite a bit, even Vici Gaming do it every now and then, although they normally do it more as a support Morana for FY, but now we get an AA Doom, so like you say, very standard, fairly conservative picks for the openers.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Murano is that it does lend DK a lot of flexibility. That's something that we've talked about, about drafting in general in the current version. If you have a hero that you're willing to run in pretty much every single position, then picking it up early isn't too much of a problem. And Arrow can be an absolutely game-changing ability. You land a clutch 5-second arrow on the opposing carry, doesn't really matter if he's got 10k net worth, 30k net worth, you burst him down, you win the game. So always something to keep in mind.
All right, well, we'll see where the two teams look to go from here. Carrie's being banned up by DK with a ban onto the Morphling. Enigma actually banned by Vici Gaming. We're seeing Enigma every now and then. Enigma's one of my favorite heroes. I really like the way you can play the super greedy farming jungle Enigma. You can sort of look to pressure and help the lanes a bit more earlier on, like some of the players who play this hero. I think Enigma's a really interesting hero, and it especially seems to crop up at like big LAN events, because those clutch, tense games, Enigma's one of those kind of difference-maker heroes. Just the fear of a black hole is almost scarier than the black hole itself sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like we haven't really seen a whole lot of aggressive tri-lanes, at least as far as the Chinese qualifier was concerned, and Enigma pretty much by far your fastest jungler. So if you're a team that's unwilling to go aggro to try and punish an Enigma pickup, then if it starts to trend even a little bit, then you do need to consider banning it out.
We'll see where the two teams go from here. Visage, probably one of the biggest support heroes left in the pool that both teams run a lot of. Those hexagons.
These
They just
hexagons.
pop up and it's like, what do you even call that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's some shape.
That's the heavy disable gank right now. I mean, they've only got 2 picks, so it's really, you don't know what they're doing. This is 2 very neutral picks. They pick up the clockwork, so definitely very heavy gank. They've got max points over there, but this is going to be your Ice offlane hero. So I like that they picked up a more sturdy offlaner for DK. And they are once again on the dire side, so the harder side to be on as far as the offlane is concerned. Yeah,
this is a pretty early to mid-game centric draft from DK, I have to say. Especially with the clockwork pickup, just the nature of the hero compared to even say someone like a Centaur, he just doesn't really scale all that well into the late game. So I guess DK putting a little bit more pressure on themselves. It is a really nice hero to have against both the Ancient Apparition and the Doom. If you hook right onto the Doom at the start of the fight, he doesn't really want to Doom you, but sometimes he just doesn't really have any other option. So I think a pretty nice pickup here for DK, and a hero that does quite well on the dire offlane, which is a big difference that we've been bringing up over the course of the qualifiers. Just the huge discrepancy between the dire and the Radiant offlanes.
All the Chinese teams still prefer dire. Like I think there's maybe like one team throughout the entire Summit Asia who wanted Radiant. I can't remember who that was, but for the most part, like 90% of the teams want dire. It's kind of the complete opposite of what it is in the Western scene, where I'd say at least 75% to 80% of teams prefer Radiant.
Okay. Did we get the final stats on the difference in average game length? Because I feel like initially the Chinese qualifier was ending up quite a bit longer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay. So what we just got from Brian is that it's not on average that much longer than
Yes.
the other qualifier.
yeah, it was
regions.
2 minutes longer on
Okay.
average, and I think that's pretty much like because we had a couple
2-hour
really long
games.
epic games,
Yeah.
which didn't happen as much in the NA ones. The NA one had quite a few more one-sided matches, which is where they had the probably lowest average game time. So, Vici Gaming now, their turn to respond to the Clockwork pick. Rubik for now, so they get the Rubik AA. This is to me probably my favorite support duo at the moment. You can do so much with this. Team Dog now, Mousesports love running offensive trial lanes with Rubik AA plus Mirana plus really anything because of the power of the double range series with Chilling Touch and a lift. It basically kills anyone. So I really like this support duo.
Yeah, they pressure, they gank, they roam. There's some scaling in there as well. You can also just judge based on how the early game is going. You can either say, okay, look, we're going to need a slightly more farmed Rubik. Let's prioritize him getting a 4-staff, something like that. Or you can go the opposite way. You can say, okay, look, Rubik, you're the hard 5. Get your Arcane Boots, buy all of the wards, and we're going to make space for the Ancient Apparition to, say, pick up his Aghanim Scepter. So nice to have also nice to have 2 full-range supports, potentially against the Bane, just so you can always pull off that Nightmare, maybe in the middle of fights. And of course, Rubik is just fantastic against Clockwork. You get hooked, you throw him out of his cogs, away you go. And also stealing Arrow. We mentioned how game-breaking it can be for the Mirana. Well, same deal for the Rubik. So I think a nice pickup here.
We then get the Razor OD trade. This is pretty common. Like you often see as soon as as soon as the OD get picked up, you see the Razor. Not really the other way around, but it's not okay. So we're getting Razor has a good win rate against OD. I would say, like looking at just specifically the lane stage, OD still gets some farm. It's not like you get completely wiped off the floor in the mid lane.
But the thing is, if you're picking an OD, you are really picking it to win that lane, in my mind. So I guess the one option, of course, to mention here for DK is that they could just choose to shuffle the OD up onto the safe lane instead, and maybe just put together a duo lane or leave the Mirana mid as the other option. So could potentially see that out
Vici
here
could
from
switch
them.
their lane, so like
well.
Razor with this tri lane, it's like it's scary as all hell, but definitely the Razor most likely picked up to lane against the OD for now.
What do you make about the OD pick in general? I feel like he's just going to get doomed every time. Unless the other core for DK ends up being something fairly scary, something maybe worth dooming, then I worry that unless the Clockwork manages to hook the Doom, or they manage to get a grip down on the Doom really early on in each of these fights, then I feel like the OD is just going to get doomed. And at that point, it doesn't matter what kind of early game, what kind of mid game he has. The impact in team fights is going to be a little bit diminished.
I'm not a big fan of their pick in general. I don't think it's a great it's not like they need the pure damage. It doesn't seem like it's great against any of these Vici Gaming heroes. They last pick a Darkseer. Is this going to be greedy support Darkseer, or do we go like even Darkseer, I don't know. Clockwork can always mid, you know? Like they have two options. Run Darkseer as a jungle 4 position, or you run the Mirana support as a 4 position. Those are kind of your 2 options.
Yeah.
And then you have like your 3 cores who can lane differently. Like you can do Clockwork off lane, or you can do Darkseer off lane.
I would be surprised to see Clockwork as anything other than off lane. So I think
Burning plays the Mirana here. I can't see him playing Clockwork or Darkseer. I don't know.
Darkseer Clockwork, pretty legit dual lane. If the opposing team has a really weak defensive tri lane, Darkseer can go offensively jungle, get level 3 really quickly, pop out, puts an Ion Shell on the Clockwork, surges him.
It's not like any of these other heroes can lane against Razor anyways. Like you wouldn't want to put Clockwork there anyways. Weaver last pick. This is such a Vici Gaming lineup. They get the Silo, Weaver to round things off. It is going to be a super solo mid Razor and the ROTK Doom for probably the offlane. You can always offensive tri lane though, put Doom safe lane solo. So
they have a really scary tri-core this game. If it goes late and we see BKBs up on all 3 of these cores, which could plausibly happen, the OD is really DK's late game damage, and well, I guess it looks like they are going to have a core Mirana as well. But
I just based on like DK's players and hero preferences, that would like Mushi is the OD player like most of the time, and then I couldn't see Burning playing Clockwork or Darkseer. Like that, it just doesn't really seem to be a playstyle that DK want to try play and adapt towards. But I heavily favor Vici Gaming's draft from what I see here. Not to say it's a flat-out win, but it's more probably partly because it's more standard.
Yeah. Weaver isn't actually as far as Weaver versus melee matchups go, I think Clockwork is actually one of the better Heroes, if you have to be on the melee side of that, but it's obviously not great. I only bring it up as the potential for the Vici Gaming supports to spend a lot of the game roaming instead of pressuring the safe lane, but we'll end up seeing what their preference is going to be.
Well, it looks like Boots first for the OD. He's expecting that 1v1 against the Razor in the mid lane right off the bat, so no big surprises there. As we'll have a quick pause coming out. RTK has picked himself up the Doom. And Razor not going for the boots first, so Super going for a Wraith Band just to help with that. Well, I mean, kind of helps with that level 1 last thing, but at the same time it means you're getting less static link damage. So in some ways it helps, but it also hurts because you're going to be stealing less damage from the OD.
Yeah, it's more of a, okay, let's see how I can do in the first couple of waves. If I get my boots fast, then I'm up. If something goes wrong, if I get roamed on by, say, Bane Mirana right at level 1, that's when you... that's when it ends up being a bit more of a gamble.
Yeah, boots first just seems like the safer way because it's more likely to save you from a gank, although if you get caught by Nightmare, you're dead boots with or without boots if there's an arrow there to combine with it. But yeah, well, during the pause, we can introduce our two teams here. Let's get started over on the Dire side. It's going to be Team DK, currently 0-1 in the Dota2 League. We've got Ice. He's on the Clockwork, generally in the offlane, although possibly an offensive trailing coming out of DK. They've got MMY playing the Bane. We'll see Lamb playing the support / jungle / who knows where he's going, Darkseer. We've got Burning playing a farming Mirana. No HP regen on Burning, so not exactly offlane items. And then finally we have Mushi playing a solo mid OD for the DK side. And Baseskip, who's playing on Vici Gaming?
So meanwhile, over on Vici Gaming, we've got RTK handling the Doom. A little bit further down, we've got Fenrir on the support Ancient Apparition. FY on one of his big signatures, the Rubik. Looking forward to see what kind of plays he can make this game. Maybe get some arrow steals, maybe get some grip steals. And looks like we have a remake
going on. All right. Well,
okay. Maybe we'll finish the introductions once we get back in.
Are you on board that you just prefer Vici Gaming's draft here, or do you feel that DK have options with theirs?
I mean, DK's draft is kind of greedy, but I also don't think it necessarily wins late game. So yeah, I think I have to favor Vici Gaming here.
I'm really curious how this Darks is going to just be laned and played, because he looked like he was heading off towards the offlane, had sentries as a starting item. Were they even considering some sort of an offensive tri lane, or is that just like...
Yeah, I'm honestly not 100% sure what DK are going to be doing.
Maybe it was just like a 4-man roam into the offlane to get some wards down.
Yeah, they might be trying to get a little bit of information out as well from Vici, just as far as what their plan is going to be.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll hopefully get ourselves into the remake shortly, guys. Big thanks, everyone, tuning in nice and early here. We've got a long day ahead. We've got TI4 European qualifiers starting in about 2 hours' time, maybe now. But for now, it's the Dota2 League, and things kicking off with some fun here. It's the same hotel where they played from the qualifiers, so the team's getting looked after is probably an understatement right now. Helicopters.
The helicopters, the Mini Coopers. I'm sure they're getting the absolute rockstar treatment.
Yeah. We need to get some Mini Cooper sponsors.
Where's the Mini Cooper sponsorship, Brian? Come on.
Yeah, we've got K-Poptosis in charge of sponsorship. If you're listing Mini Cooper, get in touch at K-Poptosis.
John Deere.
He's already got the John Deere connections. All that Alabama farm life growing up. All right.
Okay, so we didn't get to look at the overall standings before we jumped into the game, so we can have a look at how things are going right now. Newbie on the top, 2-0, and that's having played Vici and DK, correct?
The two toughest teams, really. Like I would say.
Yeah, I think they're in a really, really good spot as far as this competition is concerned. Should probably take wins against LGD and CIS, and that pretty much secures them top 4.
Yeah, I think LG is the other team who are playing in really good form right now. Like I would give LG. I'd be surprised if LGD don't finish in the top 4. I think, like on paper, IG and CIS are probably the weakest teams right now in this tournament. Although IG, you never really know which IG is showing up on any given day. So
who's playing what role on IG on any given day?
Exactly. But they've got themselves one win. They did manage to beat CIS, so CIS, heavy underdogs. Only top 4 teams will advance. And even a team like DK, they're not really a shoo-in for the playoffs by any means. They won Starlighter, but since coming back from Starlighter, they've been struggling a bit in WPC. They did manage to get into the playoffs there, but it hasn't been all sunshine and roses for them.
Yeah, they took a couple of losses in WPC. I think a lot of them getting that playoff berth was just, they had things padded out a little bit from when they were on a really...
They did still finish in the top 3, which put them into the the top half of the bracket.
Yeah.
So they get the tougher group. WPC actually starts in 2 days.
WPC playoffs.
Cloud9 and Alliance both, I believe, flying out to China like today.
This is a crazy couple of months for Dodo to go.
Yeah.
Summit, WPC, ESL.
Yeah.
DreamHack, this, that, international.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Bull ECL.
A lot of tournaments.
It's just going to be non-stop until TI ends, and then maybe we'll have a bit of a break.
I think apart from the summit, WPC probably the event I'm most looking forward to because you get the 2 Western teams coming in, the top 6 5 Chinese teams plus Titan as well. So we're going to preview.
TI. I feel like we have a mini TI. There's a bunch of mini
Summit's
TIs.
a mini TI.
Summit is also
ESL's
a
a mini TI. WPC. WPC just seems like the highest stakes of all those events.
Yes,
so.
by far.
You only have the 2 Western teams, so it's definitely very high stakes, a lot of pressure on the teams. And the part I'm really curious about is both Western teams going and taking a coach with them. So the first time we actually have Western teams really trying to use coaches. But
who are the
thumbs
coaches?
up.
Do we have it confirmed? Can we?
Thumbs up. Just get in the game. We're good.
Yeah,
Brian.
go.
Switch. Don't wait my cue. Just ignore me. I'm rambling. I'm off topic. But Winter is going to be coaching for Alliance.
Nice. He's got the insight. He knows the scene.
Yes.
So that's a pretty good choice.
And I believe it's Clairvoyance who's going to be going with Cloud9.
Okay.
Neither's like they're just kind of like temporary, like let's see how this goes kind of thing. It's not like they're like officially a part of the team/organization yet, but they're the 2 teams trying it out as much as far as I know.
Yeah,
I hope I'm allowed to say. I know. The thing with Winter is somewhat known. Like Winter said he's going out to WPC. I'm not sure if the Clairvoyance thing is. So I apologize, Cloud9, if I wasn't meant to say that. The tournament starts in 2 days, so I think it's fairly known at this point.
It's this God's guy.
It's not really spoils.
Anyway, so we should probably finish off the Vici Gaming introductions as well. So I think the last 2 were Super on the Razor. And Sylar is going to be handling that Weaver as our lanes start to take shape a little bit here.
Offensive trialing from Vici Gaming. Looks like Sylar may be just a safe lane here as Doom offensive trialing. Rubik AA can really go anywhere. They've got a smoke, they can try gank mid early, they can try get a first blood top, then go back to their safe lane to jungle farm. But they have blocked the pull, which means this top lane is going to be a good place to be.
Yeah, that is definitely the benefit of Port Duo and just the laning configuration from Vici in general. If they go aggressive and things don't quite turn out how they like,
lane swaps all over. Mushi's like, I'm getting the hell out of mid lane. Top lane's empty. Sweet. And first blood attempt on mid lane. There is going to be a lift, a double damage Rubik here. The AA's there as well with the chilling touch, but level 1 leap from burning. I like this lane setup there. They juggle the sleep a bit, but there's no arrow. He's gone leap. But hey, you may as well use that just to be on the safe side. MMY did have full mana at the start of that, so Mushi makes his way bottom lane. He's going to be up against the Weaver and a TP top from your Clockwork. DK have gone full lane switcheroo. And I guess the end result's a little bit better for him.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice if either team got a whole lot of scouting information at the start of the game to inform their lanes. I feel like DK...
Yeah.
Okay, so DK did manage to spot the Weaver bottom, but that was about it.
Yeah, and they never know if it's like a Weaver just solo or tri-lane.
Weaver tri-lane, yeah.
Both teams got down the offensive wards to block their opponent's pull camp is the main thing. But, hey, we'll see if AA can get any D wards off here. It's going to be tricky with both wards there blocking the spot, and he's got no sentries. That makes it especially tricky to D ward if you don't have sentries.
Yeah, there's still a sentry over on FY, but he's actually just sticking around for the dual lane mid. Probably pretty smart if you leave Super behind. He's just going to get nightmared straight into an arrow and then die. So it looks like Rubik's going to be stuck here at least for the time being.
So do you feel like this laning arrange? I mean, obviously it's better than putting the Razor mid against, or the OD mid against the Razor, but do you feel like they're still going to win the laning stage, or is this still an advantage Vici Gaming as far as the lanes are concerned?
I think this is still pretty good for Vici. Honestly, that additional farm on the Doom is going to be pretty significant. Meanwhile, Ice, because he's now effectively the safe lane farmer, there's a lot more pressure on him to get things done, just because as a Clockwork, you can't afford to sit back even with a good start. And I don't feel like the safe lane farm is that much of an improvement over the kind of levels that he would have gotten in the off lane to start with.
I still remember Ice's Clockwork games where he gets solo kills in his lane with like the max battery assault build and then just started killing her as left, right, and center. There was one game, I think it was against the Night Stalker. It was against IG, I believe. Ferrari was playing Night Stalker, and he just like solo killed the Night Stalker at levels like when Night Stalker like was nighttime. Night Stalker like level 7, level 8, and Ice is like sweet hook shot, max battery assault, cogs, and Night Stalker just died during nighttime. Like he just went crazy. So yeah, like a Clockwork game at MLG. LD's reminding everyone of. So Clockwork, one of his better heroes, and giving him... I think that's where DK basically say, look, the lanes may not be the best for us, but we believe in Ice's playmaking ability.
Yeah, in Ice we trust. And also the other thing is that he doesn't have to necessarily be up here on the safe lane for that long. Once he gets level 6, level 7, he can start moving around, he can be off the map just applying pressure in general, and they can they can bring the OD or the Mirana back up to the safe lane to get some recovery farm.
This is an interesting gank here. Hasted Bane here. They could set things up with a Nightmare. It will be very much so under the tower. He already preemptively pops the Scorched Earth just to get that 8 bit of HP regen should they go for that dive. And Darkseer is really way too low. He did not want to commit to that one. So he'll back off. There's that Observer Ward also. Yeah, that scouts out a lot of those rotations. So Doom, unlikely to get caught out top. I think you just leave Ice solo. I don't think he needs the help necessarily.
Yeah, nothing getting dewarded in the early game probably means that we're in for probably not too many effective rotations, especially just the wards that both teams have down. It's a lot of coverage of rune spaces and things like that.
And Vici Gaming have split their 2 supports up. There is a kill attempt top lane. Ice, 2 points of the Battery Assault. He gets the cogs off as well, but he's opened this one up. RTK will get out. He wants to, or considers diving a bit. Was that? Did Ice kill the cogs himself? That was a bit weird. But Super now taking a lot of damage from MMY. MMY is going to be your first blood. Super gets the kill here. He's going to get 2 as well. Burning did have a leap, but he would have not been able to leap far enough. I think Super gets that kill with or without leap being used. And Super now salves up. Double kill to start things off in the mid lane for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long duration arrow from DK. They had to kind of maneuver their way around the creeps. Nice rotation in from FY at the right time, and
should not have gone in, perhaps.
Easy double kill.
And it's like Vici Gaming have split up the AA Rubik. Like normally, early game, these 2 supports, you think they're always together trying to get kills and be aggressive, but they leave the AA bottom to just help control the lane, do some pull. Well, he's trying to do some pull, still hasn't managed to do so just yet. And the Rubik helping out the mid lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, this ward is just not going to be able to spot the observers. So it's like, Fender, does he even have a second obs?
No, I think that was just the one which they had from earlier.
Okay, that was the spare one from before.
It's it's a really nice move when you use both Observer and Sentry to block the pull, because they have to commit 2 sentries to deward it, and it's a lot tricky. It just guarantees you block it for just that little bit longer. Because you deward one, you're like, oh, it's dewarded, let's wait, and then you see it's still blocked, and you're like, oh, I've got to use another sentry. But
yeah, I wonder a little bit here for DK. Mushi's getting alright CS. Actually, pretty much everybody over on the DK side is doing alright.
The lane's worked out pretty well, I'd say, for DK. Ice going for a kill on RTK. Needs to catch up with the Iron Shell Battery Assault. He does so much damage, but most of the Battery Assault's gone. The arrow from Burning off the mark. RTK still going to take a fall. MMY was even rotating to guarantee that one, so Ice on the board here. Super wants some catacills here. The Static Link is going to take a lot of damage from MMY. And Super just needs to stay alive. He's going to get caught in the cogs here. Next Battery Assault could be his death here. Super caught, trapped, plus 84 damage. Not going to matter when there's 4 DK heroes. Burning almost goes down. He gets the leap out of there and survives on 33 HP. FY now being chased down. Battery Assault plus Iron Shell. That's a dead Rubik. TP and not going to matter here as Doom shows up, but probably not the lane you want to show up to. You probably just want to go back top to keep on farming, but considered maybe trying to get a counter kill there. So DK get themselves back in this game.
That Clockwork Darkseer synergy, too good.
Yeah. That's
Battery Assault plus Ion Shell is a lot of damage.
It's where you can have these weak lanes, but make up for it once you kind of get the 2 heroes involved in some early game aggression. Suddenly, Ice is level 6, so we've got Hookshot in the game, and that's where Darkseer and Clockwork are just going to look for even more blood, I imagine, at this stage.
Yeah, and this is exactly where they can look to bring Mushi back from this offlane, so he can start securing himself some pretty good farm. Doesn't need to go for a mech or anything like that this game because they have the Darkseer, so we should be able to see the full late game power, or at least mid game power of your OD here.
Yeah. Well, for now, Mushi. Yeah, I wonder what Mushi will be going. I think you at least go for the 4-staff. Whether you go for the mech, I think Darkseer can go for the mech, but probably see like a 4-staff into BKB or 4-staff Hex BKB in some order, one of those 2 orders. But yeah, Mushi, I mean, it's amazing. He's been in the offlane for the first 6 minutes, but he's still getting fantastic farm there. Like, he doesn't actually need to rotate. He probably does soon, but for now, this offlane is providing enough safe farm for him.
Well, FY's been trapped mid because of the dual lane, and the pull's been blocked for the last few minutes as well, so they haven't really been able to run pulls.
Yeah.
Also, because the Ancient Apparition started off in a different lane, they just didn't get that early pressure, and I mean, they are now starting to zone him out a little bit, but the damage has kind of already been done, just because the Ancient Apparition can't zone a level 7 OD.
He'll TP top now, so...
Yeah.
Ice has everything he needs. Looks like he just gets some bottling up, so he's got full HP, full mana. He's ready to start ganking, and we'll see him and the Darkseer probably team up. Whether or not they go for a smoke or anything, we'll have to wait and see. But mid lane's looking very tempting for them. They've got the smoke on the Darkseer, and with Iron Shell on your Clockwork, you're looking at pretty easy kills on almost any target, unless the Rubik Telekinesis can lift him out of his own cogs.
Yeah, Vici Gaming also trying to get a little bit of ganking action here out of the Doom, who's just managed to pick up his level 6. But
they'll see Clockwork 6, and he's been missing already for about 15-20 seconds. So they're at least they should be anticipating some sort of a gank from the Clockwork.
Yeah, they also feel that DK were playing a little bit cautiously, so they plopped in a sentry ward. They're not going to end up actually finding an observer or anything like that from DK here, but
Here comes Ice
the
Ice
rotation
around the bend, and could be RTK who he latches onto here, but there's also an AA further off in the jungle here. AA not the most important kill. He goes for the hookshot, completely misses it. It's not going to matter anyways. Fenrir caught in the Cox battery assault. He'll latch on with the cold feet, but it's not going to matter. A kill nonetheless, going the way of Team DK. Ice Ice isn't done. Sentry Ward going to scout him out. The lift is there. Which way are you going to lift? Just straight up and down. Ice Ice needs to run though. He gets doomed as well, taking a lot of damage. One more right click could finish him off. I think he may survive that one. They want the Bane instead. Super needs another Plasma Field to get this, and it's up in 5 seconds. He's chasing with the Phase Boots. That's a lot of damage here. MMY needs to turn for a Nightmare or a Brain Sap. Not going to get it off. Super with the right clicks alone gets the kill. Ice Ice did survive the Doom damage and will make his way back to Fountain to heal up, and he can almost TP back in. Hookshot going to be online in 30 seconds time. Darkseer caught trapped behind enemy lines somewhat. He needs to be a bit careful. He's just hiding out, chilling in the enemy jungle.
yeah, it looks like they just kind of lost track of what happened to Lanham, so they probably just assumed he TP'd out and he's going to be alright. He actually finds a little stack here over in the Vici
Not
Gaming
bad.
side, so
AA is going to see him soon, and this Darkseer, I don't think he had a TP, so no, he's going to hide. Hide and hope. Hope
stay
for
in the
best.
trees.
They'll see the Iron Shell on that creep and realize kind of what's going on, but
It's like,
they...
well, what on earth is this? Why is there an iron
He
shell
just
here?
casts another Iron Shell. The Plasma Field, unfortunately, will not scan him out. Lamb just hiding. FY's looking every little nook and cranny in the jungle here. Well, not everyone, just a couple too short there, as he's not going to find him just yet. And here comes your Clockwork. Hookshot back up. DK have this Observer in the Radiant jungle is just giving them so much vision and intel. And there's your Hookshot. It's going to catch out your Ancient Apparition twice in a row. Poor Fenrir going to go down. Ice will get hit by the Cold Feet here, but he's got 850 plus HP. Sylar shows up as well. No Doom just yet, and Ice has to find a way out of this one. Cogs on cooldown for 4 more seconds. They want to chase and commit to this. 12 Magic Stick charges. Ice, Cogs is up, and he should be able to survive this one with that. The chase just... Sylar's committed, but... Ice is going to try turn and fight. Sylar's going to get the kill and get out with a time-lapse there. I think Ice could have just kept running.
Yeah, these are not amazing trades for
Tried to man
DK
up.
on paper, but I think it's still alright. It's
Mushi farming.
yeah, it's space created. I mean, it's
Mirana
probably an
farming
overused
even.
term, but you know, they did have a bunch of heroes chasing around the Darkseer and the Clockwork over in the Radiant jungle for a little while, and yeah, like you said, Mushi top of the CS, burning, getting some really good farm of his own. So
Mushi probably going to be picking up that Midas, I imagine. He had like 2k-ish gold, and I think this is Midas territory.
yeah.
Midas before you go into whatever else it may be. But Vici Gaming using the power of their 5-man lamp, they'll get a T1 tower at bottom. Still trailing a kill, but with that tower gold, they're going to start at least catching up, if not be a little bit ahead. But still a fairly neutral game. And the thing is, if your OD's going Midas, you're knocking out a fight for some time here. Hookshot with an Iron Shell, who was looking for Sylar. That's ambitious. Had the Sentry Wards. You trap him. He knew he didn't have time lapse, so if you trap him in the cogs, you get that kill, even if he Shikuchi. So it was a good attempt. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Mushi not going Midas.
Okay, so
Not the expected. But normally he goes to the Midas build, but I guess.
yeah, I feel like you could have maybe gotten away with the Midas build this game. Maybe he feels it needs to participate a little bit more. Again, we talked about it earlier that I don't feel that the late game is necessarily all that amazing for DK. So maybe they just have to make plays.
He's got no mana for a time lapse. Nicely played. Good gank from DK with the Moonlight Shadow there. Recognizing the fact that he had time lapse back up after the previous gank, but he did not have the mana to use it. So Ice is going to pick himself up and earn. So this will start getting him some heal as well as damage charges to use, and also just make him a whole lot tankier. He's got 1200 plus HP now.
Yeah, it really does look like DK have just decided, okay, look, we're not going to win this late game, so let's just use the mid game strength of the Mirana, the fact that we've got this Clockwork and Darkseer in a really good place, and maybe actually punish a little bit of this Midas over on the Doom. There is, of course, going to be a mech picked up by Super, so that's not necessarily the trade-off, but that does mean that RTK is going to take a little bit
Reveals him
longer.
from smoke, and Mushi with the 4-star, they'll help him get away, even with the Ice Vortex. So
If he had a Midas, might have died.
yeah, I'm not sure if the lift would have gotten in range there. The Ice Vortex slow would have helped a little, but the main problem was it's daytime. You're smoking,
Yeah.
ganking, not even from fog. You're just going straight down the lane, and that ain't going to work, so...
But another ineffective gank from Vici Gaming. They've pulled this Doom off lane a couple of times.
Too.
But
I guess that he doesn't need to go for a mech. Your Razor's got the mech for the team, so...
I think it's alright. I mean, what else do you go for? I guess maybe he can just pick up a drum. It is a little bit more insurance, of course, for Vici Gaming. Doom with the Midas is a pretty reliable way to have a 6-slotted Doom in the late game, but it looks like DK just not going to give them that opportunity. They're applying so much more pressure, and they're just being so much more successful. You know, we've seen like 3 attempted ganks from the Doom, 1 Doom cast, and 0 successful kills.
Yeah.
So
I think they could have killed Ice at that one time. They just didn't get that extra right click or chase onto him. But hey, right now it's Ice who's controlling the game for DK in a lot of ways. So we'll see him paired up with the Darkseer in the Dire Jungle. They're not looking to gank right this second, but probably ready to go for their next rotation fairly soon. Maybe just waiting this Darkseer mech, which is just 50 gold away for Lamb, and that's where DK get really scary with their rotations. You have your OD who's gone for a 4-star. He can even come and fight himself if he wants to, but this is a big neutral sack. Oh, Vici Gaming gonna get a lot of farm out of this, but it's split like 4 ways. make it 5 with Clockwork and 5-6 with Clockwork Bane showing up.
Yeah, and the warding from DK has just been absolutely impeccable. They've been such opportunists every single time that they make their way into the Radiant jungle. They just plop down another Observer ward and keep an eye on exactly what Vici Gaming are doing. And that factors into how we were talking about, oh, these Vici Gaming ganks haven't really been all that successful, but that's just because a lot of them DK have seen coming.
If you see no one in the jungle and no one in the lanes, it's like, well, they're ganking. Like, often they're missing from the lanes, you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe they're just jungling, being greedy, stacking and farming pulls, but that's exactly where DK have their wards. It also really nicely sets up the hookshot ganks. It looks like Vici Gaming did deward one of those Observer wards in their own jungle with a sentry there, which helps out a lot, because that was actually, at this stage, probably more crucial than the other Observer ward, which is about to expire. So Vici Gaming on the move once again. Doom just Midas in hand. They're not really that equipped and ready to fight. I feel like DK will just have the best of them because of the... Now, even though both teams have a mech, I feel DK are just a lot scarier with theirs.
Yeah, the fact they got away with the greedy Darkseer is really paying off now as we transition into the mid game. Vici Gaming do have some pretty big pickups. They just got their mech. They've got the level 6 on the Ancient Apparition now as well, so things looking a little bit better. But
T1 top tower is very low, but Vici Gaming in somewhat positioned to defend this one, and unfortunately DK only have 2 heroes there, so they will not be looking to commit too much to try and get the last hit for this. And also, they reveal a couple heroes in the mid lane, so it looks like Ice Iron Shell once again on him. He'll be looking for that hook shot in, but top tier 1 tower gets denied by Sylar on the Weaver, and Sylar, his farm is not as great as you normally expect to see. He's got treads, he's got an ultimate orb, 1 kill, 1 death to his name. He's farming well, but he's actually behind the OD as well as the Darkseer right now, so he has definitely some catching up to do, and he's going for the Lincolns, which I think is fine, but Lincolns is not going to be countering too much here. A Fiend's Grip is probably the best thing you can do, but after that, Clockwork Hookshot goes through, Arrow goes through, Darkseer Vacuum goes through, and most of the OD damage goes through.
yeah, and a casual point in Feeble is just such an easy way to pop a Lincoln Sphere as well for DK. So might look to see MMY picking that one up a little bit later.
Definitely like level 8, level 9. He's in no rush right now. That Lincoln Sphere is still some time away, and Vici Gaming smoked up. DK themselves going for a rotation towards his mid lane. Maybe they can kill off Burning here, but Retaliation somewhat near. Burning needs a lift. He's not going to get it. He's going to get doomed up. Ice Blast will finish him off, and DK out of range, no hook shot available. And even if you hook into that, it maybe doesn't end too well, because Ice is the only one who can actually shop on time, but he's got Iron Shell on him, and I wonder if Burning would even consider buying back for this one. If they try and engage, we need that buyback. Burning going to buy back for this, and RTK caught to start things off here. The wall on top of him is all definitely a kill to come on the Doom. Mech not going to save his life. They probably want more out of this with the buyback from your Mirana. Arrow going to shoot, going to miss. And there's your Astral Imprisonment. It's going to find one hero with that. That's super. And there's a Fiend's Grip as well. They need to cancel this one ASAP. The lift from the Rubik Suns, 3-4 heroes out of that. Vacuum comes now as well. DK Lamp on the run, taking heavy damage. Doom also buying back. He wants to retaliate, although he hasn't really got much firepower to do so. Like, what's your max? He didn't even have Scorched Earth up. All he had was the War Stomp, which he wasn't going to get a chance to use as well. And both teams coming their entire team to this fight. Ice shows up once again. Battery Sword on the Cogs, but he quickly realizes he's in over his head. The Telekinesis is going to pull him back to Surge, maybe going to save his life there. ROTK, is this going to be a dieback? Oh, ROTK, please. In ROTK fashion, gets himself in a very big predicament now. He's going to be pulled back, and he's still alive, though. The Scorched Earth saving his life. Hey, Ice Blast off the mark. Mushi, 4-staff, Surge, the Ice Blast, is it going to proc on him? The Astral Imprisonment will probably save his life there. And now one more Rocket Flare from the Clockwork, going to finish off the Ancient Apparition. Ice is in over his head. He gets mech'd up to save his life. The second mech in one team fight. 8 kills to 6, and DK finally disengage after a minute and a half of action there.
So many clutch plays from FY.
2 kills each? Where's the kills?
There's just clutch plays on both sides. Clutch mech, FY, through the Telekinesis, canceled the grip, stole Astral Imprisonment, put the Doom under. I think save his life there. So
We saw two
really
mechs from
nicely
like
done.
from the Darkseer as well in that duration. Oh, whew. Astral's Astral Imprisonment is just like the better version of defensive disruption in some ways, as far as duration goes, I guess. But
And
yeah.
I guess critically, Burning went down a second time, didn't he? So buying back into a death, that's really going to slow
Yeah.
down his progression. Yeah, he shoots down
Worth.
to the fourth from the bottom as far as net worth is
Word.
concerned.
Yeah, Burning gonna go complete utility items at this point. He's thinking like drums, Ring of Acolyte, whatever he can afford. And well, it's a worry for DK. This is going to come down to Mushi as far as the carrying shoes go, and he is top of the net worth, but only by a small margin. And that's where Razor and Weaver, like both BKB carries who can somewhat be useful against an OD, and a lot of DK's lineup is going to get countered by BKBs later on.
Yeah, and they just DK really have to try and exploit the rest of this window where the Weaver is not really that effective. And that's something that we have seen from this game. DK have been pushing before 20 minutes, and while 20 minutes isn't generally considered, that late into the game, it is still around the time period where, especially this Weaver build, ends up coming online. So they've exploited that, but the Weaver about to get his Lincoln Sphere up, so Sao's about to get a little bit scarier as far as these fights are concerned.
Yeah, I like ROTK. He's going to be rushing a BKB himself on Doom, and when you don't need the mech, why not? Chinese Dooms love to go BKB. And he's going to run right into MMY here in the jungle. MMY managed to avoid them. Ice says hooks in. This may not be the best hook. The arrow going to fall. That's FY. Getting saved by a defensive Astral Imprisonment. That's stolen Astral doing work here. Ice instead going to go down. FY still alive. He's got himself another spell here. Going to steal the Starstorm. Doesn't have the mana to use it right now. And Lamb, doomed up, going to go down. 3 heroes dead on the DK side. That's stolen Astral Imprisonment. Doing some serious work here. DK just getting run over in these team fights.
They invested so much to just blow up the Rubik right at the start of the fight. He survived. A bunch of spells are on cooldown for DK, and they just had to absolutely scatter. So
they'll follow it up
clutch
with
plays
the T1
again
tower
from
and good stuff. Vici, and this is where DK, like, this is before the BKBs come into play. This is when Vici Gaming are meant to struggle to teamfight against Clockwork, Darkseer. Mirana even has a lot of nuke damage with max arrow plus Starstorm. Like, this is really where DK are strong before the BKB comes off, and then DK have to farm for their next, like, their Hex on their OD, but Vici Gaming winning fights pre-BKB. That's going to be a huge worry for DK.
Yeah, DK were convincingly winning the game up until this point, but now they're just getting out-executed by Vici Gaming in 2 back-to-back fights, and this could honestly just be the turning point. Again, we talked about Vici Gaming. If this game drags on, we favor them. They've got the Midas working away on the Doom. They've got the full Tricore going as well. And the BKBs are getting scarily close. So this OD desperately needs his Hex, but that's like the next big pickup for DK. After that, Mirana would still like a damage item, but as we said, death, buyback death, still makes that a little bit unlikely.
Still bottom 4 on network.
Yeah.
Even the support Darkseer's Lamb's been getting filthy rich this game. But until that point, DK were ahead on experience heavily as well as gold. The gold now being taken over by Vici Gaming, but still a slight XP leak going the way of DK. Mushi just, he's huge. He's 0-0-0 though, and that's where Twinmet's in. Sure, ODs are carrying a lot of ways, but you still want to be getting OD involved in some of the action, getting some kills, some assists for the team, and 0 kill involvement for Mushi there.
Yeah, just a weird score, honestly, to see for the OD here. And the problem for DK is who does damage against BKB? Nobody does damage against BKB, just because of the position that Burning's in right now.
That's where you can see why Mushi wants to rush a Hex. He's like, you Hex, you at least guarantee your team 1 kill, and then if they pop their BKBs and trying to fight, you just back off and wait. You've got a kill, so you've secured that 1 kill, you're happy. But hey, if Rubik can keep stealing those Astral Imprisonments, those Hexes, no guaranteed kills. So, well, for now, we'll continue on. You're still struggling with some Perfect World servers?
Yeah.
Just gonna keep spamming the reconnect.
Keep trying to reconnect, yeah.
But yeah, for now, at least our observers are in good shape. Knock on wood.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, DK, they've lost a lot of control this game. They've still got great warding, and that's something definitely they've stayed on top of here. RTK, TP out just in time. Burning not going to find him. And they've got wards in the enemy jungle. They've got wards near the Roshan pit. Not that Vici Gaming are going to be considering Roshan anytime soon unless they win a very convincing team fight. But the wards in the enemy jungle are especially important when you've got the Clockwork on your team.
And double BKB are up for Vici Gaming. Super and RTK, they've got them online. And Lincoln Sphere right after as well for Sci-Fi. So they won the last 2 fights.
Yeah.
But
I've seen
I don't
Silo
know.
go for that Lincoln's BKB build, which I really do not like, but this is definitely a BKB game. I just prefer to see the BKB after the Desolator. I've also seen him go Lincoln's Radiance, which also made me sad. I don't think it's much of a Radiance game.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think this is a big Radiance game, especially when you're staring down a mech and a pipe over in the Dark Seer. I mean, the straight BKB from here for Sylar would be pretty conservative, but
You
so
just
long
have
as
to
he
farm for longer, I guess.
well, he has to farm for longer, but it also lets you just change the way that you play in these fights. If you pop the BKB as you come out of Fog, you just run straight at the Bane, and it means that, you know, DK can't really do anything aside from scatter from a BKB Weaver charging straight at them.
It's
so.
conservative. This is one of those games where I wouldn't be like, oh, he's gone BKB Lincolns, what's he thinking?
Yeah.
Like, I can understand why he'd maybe do that here. Glyph in the mid lane, Arrow gets tanked by Super, who's invised up. Just walks into that one and Burning like, wait, what? Something tanked it. They drop a Sentry Ward, but Tower should get denied here in the mid lane. For now, yeah, they're going to deny that one. Super gets denied. Concede that to DK. And DK with that T1 mid tower down, in a better position to maybe consider going for Roshan, but still, like, their team fight just not really scary enough against the BKBs to go for Roshan, unless the lanes are really pushed out and they see where Vici Gaming are on the map.
Yeah, either it needs to be super sneaky, or Roshan is just going to end up being the next objective if they win a fight. If they 3-0 a fight, then they could definitely look to head in there and pick up Roshan pretty easily. They can they can stun it up with Arrow. They've got some pretty good damage from the OD Orb at this point as well. So just something that's worth keeping in mind for DK.
I like what Sile's doing, just being annoying, pesky, presses that T1 tower, gets a few pot shots off, backs off, and he realizes DK are kind of poised near the mid lane for now, and that's where the rest of his team are. Ice is going to walk right into them here. The Doom is available. RTK wants to do more Mushi, maybe. No, goes back for Ice, who pops a Blade Mail, gets a hookshot to his teammate there. He gets out, but Super, one more right click. Uses a BKB to secure the kill, but at this stage I'd say well worth just that one, even if it is a 10-second BKB charge. They get the kill, they get out, more map control and just more teamfight dominant going the way of Vici Gaming.
Yeah, and they've still got the BKB available on the Doom. They didn't really invest too much to get that pick off, so they're just going to be able to turn this into a bit of a tower push here. And without the Clockwork alive, who's going to initiate for DK? It means that this is actually a really safe push as well, unless you land a random arrow. But it is daytime, so a little bit more difficult as far as that's concerned.
Super's not. Every now and then, like, so often I see Razor's picked up and just been a bit disappointed by their farm, but Super's really kept up. Like, I think Razor, and so many times I'll see, oh, he gets the fast mech, he gets maybe an Ag Scepter later on, but he never keeps up with the other top farmers. But this is probably one of the few times I've seen Razor actually keep up consistently as a top farmer, because he's such a bad flash farmer. Like, he does not farm well at all.
Turns out First Blood double kill, 7 kills in 25 minutes.
Yep.
Does quite a bit of work as
Plus
far as your farm
towers
is concerned.
yeah. You're looking good. And he's 7-1, so yeah, he's been absolutely crushing these team fights. DK, say, look, we're going Roshan. We don't care if you guys have some info on that. They've got the gem picked up for the Doom, and that's where it's especially safe for Vici Gaming to take these fights when Clockwork said, because they can't even use the Moonlight Shadow to engage. But I think DK quickly realized committing to Roshan, probably a bad idea. They've now lost a lot of vision near the middle river, although they still have the one ward near the Roshan pit as well. But that's the only ward they have standing at this point because of the gem pickup on Doom.
And both teams just going to enter into a little bit of a Roshan stalemate at the moment. Honestly, I think it would be pretty silly for DK just to charge straight in there, but I think they're trying to force maybe a mistake out of Vici Gaming as far as how they position around the pit here and how they choose to approach. But Vici Gaming, pretty conservative. They've got both BKBs back off cooldown. Just going to bring everybody down towards bottom lane.
Nice. Rocket Flare goes out. He's now going to hookshot into Super, but he's got BKB, as does your Doom. The Doom gets popped onto the OD. Unfortunately, they get caught right into the top of a wall here. Gripped up is the Doom. The Doom's already popped his ultimate. Now they're going to blow up the Bane here. Next is Ice. The Doom BKB doing some work here, and Mushi still cannot fight. He's full HP, but what good does that do? The Ice Blast snipes the Darkseer. 2 heroes dead. Mushi on the run. Silent not going to chase on the high ground here. They have a tier 2 tower waiting for them, possibly even Roshan if they want it. And DK, for the second game in a row, just getting demolished in these fights. Like, the game started off okay for DK. Their OD's still farming, but nothing else going their way.
Mushi just really needed for the grip to go out on the Doom before he got anywhere close to the Cog. That was pretty much perfect for DK. They isolated the 2 most important heroes for Vici Gaming in the Cog, on top of the wall, away from the OD, but Mushi still ends up getting doomed, and that's 11k worth of net worth, all of their damage pretty much.
If the Doom doesn't get cast, I think that fight's more 50-50. I don't think DK straight up win it, but Mushi at least can hex people, can pop an ultimate, does huge, massive damage. I think that's... I guess the Doom and the Razor both use their BKBs, so neither of those two is probably going to die, but you look at Rubik and AA, at least the support's probably going down.
Yeah, it was the perfect opportunity for Mushi to be able to actually get something done in a fight, but didn't end up working out. Vici Gaming just gonna keep on marching forward, and nothing really gets better for DK. They don't have. They're getting kind of close to being able to pick up a damage item on the Mirana, so that's gonna help a little bit.
Their mech, their pipe, but like they had that already for that fight. So Mirana's just so much goes back to burning, dying, buying back, and dying again. Like if that fight went better for DK, I think it goes okay-ish.
Yeah, it's weird to sort of pin everything back onto that scuffle, but that was the first time where things really started turning around in the face of DK.
I think they realized their lineup was very early to mid-game centric with the Darkseer Clockwork combo, and they're like, look, we got to take this fight. Burning, you buy back, and we can actually theoretically win this fight. But they only got, like, they traded 1 kill apiece. Oh, it ended up being that 1.5 minute fight, 2 kills apiece. Now they're going to see a hookshot coming in. ROTK, the Hex finally paying off, but he does end up being the BKB off. The Doom is there onto Lamb. He's already popped his Wall of Replica, though, and Lamb going to be okay here. So, nice little snipe coming out of DK there. Ice going to be paid the price, though. So, in the end, not really much of a trade anyways for DK. Both teams using a lot of ultimates, a BKB here or there, and Vici Gaming just want to get out. They've expended a lot for this.
Yeah, this is a window of opportunity for DK to try and do something, and yeah, just gonna keep on moving.
If they had
forward.
a good Roshan lamp, they'd do that, but
yeah,
they just
they have an alright Roshan lineup.
Their damage
Mushi
is just
gonna go
lacking.
farm.
Like they can use arrow. They can.
Oh, Mushi cancel this TP. What's the plan?
Maybe it's
okay. Maybe they are going for Roshan. Okay.
Yeah, they start the arrow here. Vici Gaming, 20 seconds on your Doom. Doom does have buyback as well if he wants to come and contest this. And yeah, TP towards bottom lane from Rage. I don't even think they have to buy back the Doom to contest this. They know Clockwork's still dead for another 5 seconds. They've got Ice Blast. Ice Blast alone. MMY is going to almost die to this. Oh, the pipe is there. Not. I think it would have been okay regardless, but this Ice Blast all you need. Doom no need to buy back. Roshan foiled, and I think that was very ambitious from DK to think they could get Roshan there.
Yeah, and that gives time for the 2 BKBs to cool down, so that window of opportunity for DK. Turns out they didn't size up how quickly they could take down Roshan properly. I mean, we talked about that they could do it, but just not fast enough. And some of that, again, comes back to the Mirana's farm. If the Mirana had better farm, maybe had a Desolator, easy Roshan, but not the case for Burning this game, as he's still just struggling to climb the net worth chart.
Yeah, so Vici pick up a blink on your Doom, so he can now have much better positioning in these fights and help set up some wall stomps with that. Your Razor, Aghanim Scepter, I believe, online as well, so items just galore on the Radiant side. As for DK, that is the worst Midas I've ever seen bought in a professional game. I don't think I've seen a worse Midas.
30-minute Midas. It doesn't even help.
Worse? Have you seen a worse Midas purchase?
I don't think so. Maybe if the OD had a Midas as well, you could make an argument for still pushing.
They break the Lincoln.
Well, there you go.
That was
gem down as well.
Oh, that was costly.
Yeesh.
All right, Midas pays off, boys.
Okay, Midas on track, but
no, that's so questionable.
I guess the Midas for Burning, the thought is, okay, maybe we can't win straight up team fights, but we're a very difficult lineup to break up onto the high ground because we've got Clockwork and Darkseer, and we can maybe turn this into a split push war.
Okay.
In which case it'll maybe pay off. I don't think it necessarily makes them scale into the late game to the point where they can win fights, though.
Vici Gaming don't care. Weaver's dead. They're still taking this fight. Super BKB accepted. The Doom goes blinking in. Gets to do with the Mushi. Mushi's going to be dead start this fight. Defensive Nightmare not going to matter. He gets destroyed. The Wall of Replica not really catching on there. And Sylar fought back. Time-lapsed in. He does break his Lincoln's broken by a Nightmare now, but the retreat is gone in full retreat mode for DK here. Lamb would be the next to fall to one more right click from Super, and that's a gem reclaim for Vici Gaming. Did cost him a Weaver buyback. Not really the best fight, but if they can secure Roshan off of this, still were worthwhile. Unfortunately, a wall stands in their way. Thou shalt not pass, says the Darkseer Lamb. But hey, they're just going to wander on through and get into Roshan pit with Sylar's Desolator here. Roshan is there for the taking. DK still in the near proximity if they want to try and contest this, though. And I think Vici Gaming may be reconsidering the Roshan attempt.
Yeah, that was such a massive gamble for DK. Just thinking, there was nobody on the map. The only information that they're working off is, okay, the Weaver is dead. Maybe we can try and force this. But they get caught out by the blink on the Doom. RTK realizes, look, if I can just jump at Mushi at the start of every single fight, then Miranda's not scary enough. So, easy Doom target. Vici Gaming going to secure Roshan for themselves. And
a couple big mistakes, like Weaver getting caught off especially was really silly from him. Like, that was very unnecessary. He even had time to react. Like, when he ran into them, he had time to just instantly time-lapse out. Or just get out of there. Like, they broke his Lincolns, then hexed him, and it was not a very fast reaction from Sylar by any means. But they're still in a fantastic position. They've got 3 cores, all ridiculously farmed, and the only hero that poses any sort of a threat right now on the dire side is the OD.
And I just don't know how DK plan to farm this out without a gem, without map control. It's just, it's so risky to be off by yourself, trying to secure any semblance of farm. And Vici Gaming can just, they can just straight up 5-man. There's one outer tower left for them to claim. They've still got BKBs.
Yep.
They've got their Aghanim Scepter up on the Razor, so...
Net worth very heavily in Vici's favor.
How are DK going to make the space for this?
Yeah.
That's what I wonder.
Yeah, and there's just no vision for DK right now. For DK, they're just playing blind, and they can't even get any wards up. Just the one ward near the top river, but that's not exactly a very important place to have vision. And have we... have we actually seen an OD ultimate this entire game? I think there's been a big flat 0.
Yeah, I feel like there's been one. There was the one on the Doom that didn't
that
kill
did
it, that did no damage.
It did like actually no damage.
Is that maybe to do with the fact that it was Rubik's in prison? I'm not actually sure how that mechanic works. If Rubik imprisons somebody and then OD tries to ult through that imprison, because the Doom didn't take any damage whatsoever.
He
from
may
that
have just
ult.
had enough mana pool, but he he just had like a Midas blink dagger. So
he doesn't have any int, so that seems a little bit unlikely, especially given that Mushi. It's not like he just had a naked Midas himself. He actually had a 4-staff. Yeah. So maybe that's how that works, and that was actually an even bigger play from FY than we realized.
Some interesting mechanics, guys, in the chat. Get testing. Head on some private lobbies. Tweet at us. Let us know. At Baseskip, at BTS Gods. Let us know how these crazy mechanics work. Dota2, one of those crazy games. You never know how everything works. You really have to. Yeah. There's so many spells that just interact in weird ways.
And you can't really infer anything either from other rules. Like,
no,
there's just exceptions. Everything is exceptions.
Every spell is just coded differently. I love it. It's probably my favorite thing about Dota is that nothing makes sense. There's no logic to it.
Huh?
The question... Well, we'll see. Burning's picked up a Maelstrom now, so he's starting transition, but this is the stage of the game where Vici Gaming, Aghanim Scepter picked up, they'll take the... Well, he's had this for ages. They'll take the tier 2 top tower. And, there's nothing... DK just can't fight. They're not in any state to fight right now. Darkseer is building towards a late game Aghanim Scepter, so for DK it really is, let's just stall. Like, the only reason you're buying this Midas Moran is to stall this game 50, 60, 70 minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like if stall tactics are the plan, they need to be teaming up the Darkseer and the Clockwork again, just to try and apply pressure and find some more solo pickups. Maybe even start roaming the Bane, if possible. If you're just trading kills, then at least you're buying time, and you're maybe making this Midas Maelstrom build from Burning worthwhile.
Well, I worry for DK. The latest, I think they've got really good... Ooh, almost gets the Doom off on Burning there. Leaps out just in time. Even pops the drums for the extra movement speed to escape, but DK have got good late game supports. Darkseer is one of their supports, essentially, who's an amazing late game hero. Bane, also amazing late game, especially if you can buy a BKB. But their cores, like Clockwork, he kind of falls off a little bit late game. BKB counters the OD, and Mirana just has no farm. So it's kind of funny that the DK support heroes do better in the late game than their core heroes do. Maybe not the OD. Like, OD, at the end of the day, like, sure, BKB counters him, but he's got enough farm that he can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I guess maybe the other thought for DK is if we take it really late, you know, there will come a time where the BKB duration starts to wear down a little bit, and you get out of that window where the OD is really being countered. But really doesn't save you from the Doom.
Yeah, really late's where your Doom gets Aghanim's Refresher, like Lance style, and that's where it's like you're all screwed. You get one Doom on the Darkseer, one on the OD. I mean, it doesn't even matter which two you do. You obviously want to ideally target the OD as well as Darkseer or Bane, but whoever it is, it's great. Now we're going to see Super go in. He's got the ultimate up. He does get Hex up. The hookshot going to fly through and hit him as well. Silas just chasing the backlines here. Ice, trapping the hook. F1 needs to wear full stuff himself out into 2 enemy heroes, though. Very low on HP, still alive for now. Super goes full retreat. The Rocket Flare finishes off the Rubik, though, so DK get a kill to start the fight there, and Vici Gaming just a bit over-aggressive there. Super was did not pop his BKB fast enough. He got hexed up, and unfortunately for him, that kind of turned things around a bit on Vici Gaming. So Vici Gaming, all outer towers down, like, they seem to be unsure of where to go next, I would say. I don't know if you, like, what do you feel Vici Gaming want to be doing with their current position?
I feel like they just get lanes out, go for a smoke, look for a pick-off, don't really split up, don't give DK the opportunities to keep on buying time here like they are. I mean, what else is there to do? Maybe if they're close to another big item here or there, there's an opportunity to try for that instead, but otherwise I don't see why you don't try and It looks like they're not even really going to be able to make use of this Aegis. It's actually just about to fade. So
They've got the BKB Weaver, so there's your third BKB. Probably your final one. Don't see Rubik or AA game one. Maybe Rubik if it goes super late. But AA is trying to farm an Ag Scepter. Rubik has Blink. Is actually still working on 4-stuff, so it must have been Fenris 4-stuff that helped him out of the cogs last fight. But FY's done really well with some of the spell steals this game, and there aren't actually that. I mean, there's some nice spells, but it's not like the easiest game. Like ideally, when we going for a Fiend Script, maybe an Arrow. But he's made like some of the crappier spells work out. Like you making Astral Imprisonment work for your team is pretty impressive.
yeah, FY really made Astral Imprisonment look overpowered.
Yeah.
Earlier. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to be able to do here. A grip steal could honestly just end this game. So
Yes, I agree.
as always, gotta keep an eye on FY.
So it looks like they're maybe now considering sieging the high ground here with the triple BKBs up. Sylar, his coming out on the career. This will be a full 10-second one for him, which is probably the most important one to still have at that 10-second mark. Although I'd say Super's is pretty important, and his is being greatly reduced. He's down a 5-second BKB already. He's starting to work on his next item, which appears to be either a Manta Style or a Sanjin Yasha. A bit late to go for a... The Sanjin Yasha is just not really a value item once you get to the 40-minute mark. So probably a Manta Style coming on your Razor, which I just feel is a pretty underwhelming item in general for a Razor. But it's not the worst.
The split push install for DK is working, kind of. I mean, they are buying themselves some more time. They waited at the Aegis. Vici Gaming going to back off to deal with bottom lane, so...
This game has the feel that it will last another good 15-20 minutes, and just because neither team... Well, Vici Gaming can't really push high ground, but when I say it's going to last 15-20 minutes, I don't feel like DK necessarily have an edge.
No.
They can just stall, but Vici Gaming will just get 5-6 slotted, and then they'll push high ground.
It's really balanced on knife edge for DK. You lose one important hero to a pickoff who doesn't have buyback available, and at this point for DK, I don't think you can be saving for buyback. You're down...
Yep.
You know, if you lose one fight, that's pretty much it. You just all have to go all in.
Oh, Hexa doesn't actually use the Doom. He didn't want to use it on the Darkseid. Vacuum now gets thrown as well. Blink in from FY, gets the lift on the Mushi. He is going to get doomed up. The wall of replicas there, but the vacuum on Kulda. Grip on the ROTK. Is there anything to cancel this one? Super just going to start right-clicking down the Bane. Bane the only casualty, though. Mushi gets out, even though he was doomed up. Nice save from the DK side to help him get out of there. Ice. His TP gets cancelled. That'll be the second kill going the way of DK. I was going the way of Vici Gaming, and godlike, beyond godlike for Super. He is 12 kills to his name at 39 minutes in the game. He has been absolutely huge on this Razor. And Vici Gaming, you say knife edge, well, it looks like a couple kills is all we need for Vici Gaming to consider going high ground. They still have the Weaver BKB as well. And they may get a pick off here. Lamb with no ultimate. He's going to just go down to the right-click damage there. Razor getting another kill to his name. OD finally sees an ultimate come out in the fight, but Mirana going to go down, and that's just picked up a Mjolnir, which means no buyback for burning. And, this is possibly high ground being breached here. The Doom did die after getting 5-second arrowed here, but Mushi's kind of like the last line of defense. Has buyback, but he doesn't really want to buy that Shiver's Guard, but right now he just can't defend at all. And these heroes are respawning with no ultimates. Like, Darkseid's not going to have his ulti when he respawns. Arrow being stolen and just being casually thrown out. If it lands, it's a kill, but for now, Vici Gaming secure themselves mid-Raxes, and 40 minutes in the game, DK. Their situation turns from bad to worse.
Yeah, and FY in that last fight actually managed to steal the arrow and just threw it straight at Burning, and that was a big reason why he got caught off just above the tower. So, Vici Gaming, easy lane of Rax, and just showing again how precarious the position is for DK. And I feel like that exact thing can just happen again once Vici Gaming back off, heal, wait for cooldowns. I think DK again just maybe need, if they're going to keep on going for this, they can't necessarily rely on stalling on the high ground. They're going to have to maybe make some even riskier plays as far as looking for lone heroes and buying more time. Because I think if they let Vici Gaming turn up at their doorstep as 5 heroes, then that's probably just game right there.
And the next time they show up, it's probably going to be maybe with the next Aegis, as well as probably Silas next. Like, if this Weaver gets a Heart of Tarrasque, I think it's just almost over. And there's a refresher.
Razor.
I think Vici Gaming have the luxury to wait for the next items. Like, Heart of Tarrasque will add a lot to the Weaver. Aegis especially is going to give them that extra life to play around with, and that's where DK just have no options really defending high ground. Unless they hit that magic vacuum into Wall of Replica into like 3 to 5 heroes, it's all over.
Yeah, the one thing to point out this game is that the wall illusions of Vici Gaming's heroes aren't actually that impressive. Like, you get the aura off the Doom, that's nice,
no
but
AC, I get it's the main
but
one.
everybody else is kind of just building plus damage or your Razor, so all of your damage is from Eye of the Storm and Refresher Orb, and that means that I think even if things even if things go perfectly for DK, maybe they can win a fight, but it doesn't make it a crushing victory.
It makes the Ag Scepter a bit of a weird pickup for your Ducks here. Like, I feel maybe not the best time to go for this game. Very super. He's 4-second BKB, so it doesn't. Actually, I'm fine with that BKB use because it's 4 seconds. It's got a really short cooldown, and DK aren't going to fight once if Vici Gaming have 5 heroes there. They were looking for a single hero pick off there, so that was not even a bad BKB use. If that's a 10-second BKB, you say, probably a bad idea, but.
Yeah, and DK aren't telling themselves like, oh hey guys, we got the BKB charge. Totally worth it for hero ganks. So.
Looky here at Mushi. He's picked up an Oblivion Staff. He's going Refresher. Says screw the Shiver's Guard. I don't think he saves the buyback. I think he just straight up buys this as well. Double Hex, double ulti. Let's go. And he's, I think he was about like 500 short maybe. He's still farming the mid lane. So he's just bought the recipe and that'll be another 200 until he's got the Perseverance. He's going to be careful not to die though.
All in. Even Burning just backing off like, Mushi, the farm's yours. I'm going to throw some scouting arrows. I'm going to make sure you get these final creeps. Let's just get this double ult and see if that's going to be enough to win us the game.
This is last-ditch effort here. The Courier
sneaky
needs
Courier.
to not be sniped. They don't see it. He can buy it from over the trees, so there we go. Safety first from the Golden Roshan.
Okay, so
K-Poptosis is begging for a Courier kill right now. Just please, please give me a Courier kill. But for now, Mushi, Refresher Orb is picked up for him, so last-ditch effort, it seems, coming out from the DK squad.
And they're going to try and take the fight
They're even
outside of their base.
Sylar on the front lines. He's picked up an Eagle Song, does have buyback still. They're going to go in. Ooh. Arrow, counter arrow actually coming out from the Rubik here as it looks like they go full retreat. Leap out from Burning. Doom not being used just yet. Maybe MMI, and Mama Yaz kind of trapped in a bad position here. They pop the dust now. They didn't actually have to text me. Ice Ice hook shots himself out of there, but Super just going to go man mode here. Chases Ice Ice. He's trapped in the cogs here. He's going to go down. The Ice Blast almost catches the Bane. And it looks like that's going to be a dead clockwork to start things off here. And Vici Gaming swing bottom lane. Blink Doom onto the high ground here. Burning in all sorts of trouble here. There's just no line for a good
opening, Mushi. This is your opening.
BKB. Double ulti could blow him up here. There's an Astral. 1 Eclipse, 2 Eclipse, gets 0. Gets 1 kill in the Ancient Apparition, but that's all they're going to get. Mushi goes down, and it's GG. It's all over. Nothing DK can do from here. They've lost 4. About to make it 5 here as Mama Yaz fighting for dear life here against FY, who's stolen Battery Assault of all spells. Making the Rubik pick work. Lamb going to buy back, but it's all over. DK now 0-2 in the Mars Dota 2 League. I don't know. What can you say? This is...
Fell apart in the mid game.
Yeah.
That dieback from Burning also costing them pretty heavily. I mean, we harped on that so much.
I don't think that was Burning's... I mean, end of the
day,
wasn't
that was
a bad
decision.
Yeah.
It was not a bad decision. It's just how the team fight played out. And also, again, just the defensive spell use, the mech, and the stolen imprisonment from Vici Gaming just put Burning in a bad spot and got caught.
People just... FY Rubik, you're just used to seeing amazing plays.
There you go.
Normally it's the big ultimates being stolen. This game he was making it do with just these like small, like different kind of like Astral Imprisonment. At the end he had a Battery Assault. He was just like, whatever spell you give me, I'll make it effective in a team fight. So he played amazingly. DK now dropped to 0-2.
Did Mushi hex a creep at the end there as well when they tried to jump the Weaver? I think he did, yeah. Okay. So a couple of little misplays here. Also Mushi that positioning as well. Yeah. After Ice caught the 2 cores down on bottom lane, that was also a little bit weird.
I mean, I don't think it was Mushi's fault this happened, but he was like 0-0-0 at 25 minutes into the game, which, like, sure, your ODs are meant to be farming a lot, but if you're 0-0-0 25 minutes in, you may as well have just gone Midas at that point. Like, the 4 stuff did maybe potentially save him that one time, but they tried to get Mushi involved, they never could. The clockwork I think Ice, he controlled the game for the first 10 minutes and then everything fell apart. If he kept being successful with those ganks, maybe we're looking at DK in a better position.
Yeah, and with the way that the drafts played out, DK were, I think, in a really bad position, right as we came out of the draft. They didn't have the opportunity like they sometimes do to just make space with 4 during the mid game and then rely on Burning to carry it late. So they had the shuffle to weird lanes to even make the laning stage passable, and then they pretty much had to win before those BKBs came online. And losing 1 or 2 team fights back to back, BKBs came online, and that was pretty much just game. So I don't think it was a particularly great draft from DK either, especially comparing to how outdrafted they made everybody look at Starladder. So
I think they got really badly outdrafted. Like Vici Gaming didn't even go for... Vici Gaming had a fairly standard draft there, like the Razor to kind of the OD pick. I mean, they had a Weaver, they had a Doom. They love all these Chinese teams love Doom, especially in the offlane. Like, I don't think we see many non-Chinese teams do the offlane Doom, but worked out. Vici Gaming now, they're 1-1 after losing to Newbie early today. We're going to take a break. When we come up, More games coming your way. Our next game is meant to be IG versus Vici Gaming here on the mainstream. European qualifiers do start at 3 a.m. Pacific time for us, so I'm not sure if we'll have time for that game. We'll have a little check and see how long the lobby's going to be until we start. But myself, as well as Cameron, casting that one. If you enjoyed our casting, let us know. You can follow us and support us. Send us some kind messages at BTS Gods, at BaseKit. But guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more Dota 2 action, be it Mars Dota 2 League or European qualifiers, coming your way.